You've written this book on free speech.
Yeah.
You get accepted by
a good publisher.
A good publisher. And they actually write you a bit of a glowing insert for the upcoming
they were
books.
all ready to put it out in September. It was in their September catalog.
Yeah. In fact, did you bring that up for Quillette? The Quillette, because I think you've got the quote for there.
Quillette mentions that.
And we could actually.
But you can call them up on the internet. If you call them up on the internet, you'll find that it's in their September catalog, or it was until last week.
So if you scroll up, Jace, and I think it actually talks about, stop there. Going too far. Yep, that one there. So even the last line of the thing, in defense of free speech, makes an impassioned argument for a return to critical thought. They're on board. They're fully on board.
This is what they said about it. Yeah.
So that was Emerald Press, and they were like, "This is it. We're in. We're onto it." And then not long after your free speech book, you get another email and explain what happened to us then.
Well, they said that despite the fact that it was, on their list, they were not going to go forward in publishing it. First, because of hate speech laws in Britain, which you didn't have to have the intent of inciting racial hatred. They exonerated me from that.
Yep.
But there might be material in it which, if taken out of context, could be used by a malicious person to stir racial hatred.
The thing that I didn't understand about that is every single thing that anyone says basically could be taken out of context. So that's ridiculous.
You could look using that law.
The Bible would be an excellent case of this. If you take
there is no more printing of that.
There's absolutely every page
not suffer a witch to live, if taken out of context, could be used to discredit the whole Bible. But the thing that got me was, if you have a hate speech law there, a publisher is not going to say, I'm absolutely certain a court will treat this sanely. Who knows how a court might apply this? Can I afford a huge suit? And they'll consult a lawyer. And a lawyer, of course, is always conservative. He feels that he can't say to someone, go ahead with something, and they have horrible consequences. He'll always be conservative and say, you better not do that. There's only a chance it would have horrible consequences, but why take it? So the fact of what the hate speech law means is often that it's not administered sanely, that the publisher is apprehensive, any lawyer that he contacts is apprehensive, and therefore it's a veto of anything that anyone might really object to. Now,
that seems to be the opposite, though, because free speech laws should protect, as we said earlier, the laws that are uncomfortable, the words that are uncomfortable.
These aren't free speech laws, these are hate speech laws.
Right.
And I've had that book looked at. No American press found any problem of either slandering individuals or libel. No problem that was beyond the ordinary discourse of academics.
Because you do talk about examples of individuals within the book.
Yeah,
but everything's in the public domain.
Everything is in the public domain, and not one of those examples has struck anyone that I have circulated among as having anything to do with slander or libel. They're all referenced. That, I think, was just thrown in as a bagatelle. The real thing was the hate speech. I don't think anyone could read that book and think anyone has been libeled. But you can always put in, if a book mentions 100 people, you can hardly say, well, I've contacted all 100 people and they don't intend to sue.
When we talked last week, you were talking about maybe not talking too much about the book until you got another publisher, but good news is...
I do have another publisher. They're a U.S. publisher. And unlike most U.S. publishers, they don't seem highly politicized. When you look at the books they published, they're books that might irritate either the right or the left.
Because I would have thought the right would have come running to you.
Oh, the right has come running to me, but I wasn't interested in a publisher who had published the book, often sight unseen, they said, and I could tell what they're up to. They just thought, this is a black eye for the liberals.
Yep.
Sure, we'll publish this.
This will be talked about on Fox News a lot. This is easy.
Well, whatever. And then the liberal press amused me because none of them took seriously libel in it. But they would say things like, well, we're not sure that our readership is quite ready for this book. Meaning they had a left-wing readership, and they were afraid they'd get the flack. But so I could have published it with some right-wing think tank easily.
Did you think about self-publishing?
I thought about that, but that is often taken as a concession of failure that no reputable publisher was willing to back it. So you have 2 strikes against you.
Although you would have had a lot of publicity around it that might have got you the...
It's better to have that publicity in a distribution system as well. But I finally settled on a publisher, Academica Press.
So that moved quite quickly then, because Quillette wasn't that long ago.
I looked at their offerings.
Yep.
And I could see books there that would be disturbing to either the right or the left.
Oh, that's clever.
And they seemed to me the least politicized of any press I was dealing with.